Did you know that a single US half-dollar coin from 1972, without a mint mark, could be worth up to $1.5 million today? That's right. A coin you might have sitting in an old jar, drawer, or inherited collection could change your life. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1972 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar, why it's so valuable, how to identify it, and what to do if you think you have one. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Americans cherished this coin, and it quickly became more of a keepsake than a piece of pocket change. Most half-dollars from the late 1960s and 70s aren't rare, but once in a while, a small error or unusual variety slips through, making that coin incredibly valuable. In 1972, half-dollars were produced at the Denver and Philadelphia mints. Coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark, but those from Philadelphia had no mint mark at all. So what's the big deal? Well, normally this is not unusual, but the valuable 1972 no mint mark Kennedy half-dollar is a very specific error coin. It's not just any Philadelphia coin without a mint mark. It's a rare variation that only a handful of collectors and experts know how to identify. There are millions of regular 1972 Philadelphia half-dollars out there, and most are only worth face value. But the super rare version has a unique die error. Look closely at the coin's details. The lettering and date may look slightly doubled or off-center. The hair details on Kennedy's portrait are sharper than usual. The overall strike may look more pronounced compared to typical coins from that year. If you think your coin matches these features, don't rush to sell it. You'll need a professional grading service, like PCGS or NGC, to verify its authenticity. That's the only way you'll know if you truly have the million-dollar variety. One of these coins reportedly sold for as much as $1.5 million at auction. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices for rare minting errors, especially when tied to such a historic coin series. Imagine turning a 50-cent piece into a retirement fund. That's the power of rare numismatics. Now, even if you don't have the ultra-rare 1972 no-mint mark variety, don't get discouraged. There are plenty of Kennedy half-dollars worth serious money. For example, the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar, the very first year, was made of 90% silver. Even in average condition, it's worth far more than face value. The 1970 half-dollar is another low-mintage rarity that collectors chase. And certain proof coins from San Francisco can also bring in hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Show visuals of coin shops, online auction platforms like Heritage Auctions, eBay, PCGS. If you think you own a valuable half-dollar, here's what you should do. Don't clean it. Cleaning can destroy the value. Collectors want coins in original condition. Get it authenticated by a grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Work with a trusted dealer or auction house. Reputable platforms can connect you with serious buyers willing to pay top dollar. Do your homework. Learn what similar coins are selling for so you know what to expect. Show inspiring visuals. Old coin jars, family members checking coins, coin collections on display. So, could that dusty half-dollar in your drawer be worth a fortune? Maybe. The 1972 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most legendary coins in modern U.S. history, and if you're lucky enough to own one, it could change your life forever. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin updates, and share this video with someone who might have old coins lying around. You never know. The next million-dollar coin could be in their pocket change. Imagine finding a coin in your change jar that looks ordinary, but it could be worth over $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. Some rare Kennedy half-dollars, like the 1976 Bicentennial coin, have shocked collectors and investors with jaw-dropping prices. Today, we'll uncover why these coins can be worth a fortune, what to look for, and how you can tell if your old half-dollars might be hiding incredible value. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I share stories about rare coins, their values, and how you can sell them for top dollar. So, if you've got a box of old coins at home, make sure to stick around. You could be sitting on a hidden treasure. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Over the years, it became a favorite for collectors. But in 1976, the U.S. Mint released a special bicentennial design to celebrate America's 200th birthday. Instead of the usual eagle on the back, these coins showed Independence Hall in Philadelphia with the dual date 1776-1976. Most of these coins are common, millions were made. But here's the twist. Certain versions, especially with special errors or minting mistakes, can be worth a life-changing amount. Now let's answer the big question. Why would a 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar be worth $1.7 million? There are three main reasons rare coins skyrocket in value. Mint errors. If a coin has a double strike, off-center design, or is struck on the wrong planchet, collectors go wild. Coins graded by companies like PCGS or NGC at the highest levels, like MS-68 or MS-69, can fetch thousands to millions because so few exist in perfect condition. Sometimes, a unique combination of errors, quality, and demand makes a single coin nearly priceless. The legendary 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar worth $1.7 million is believed to be a one-of-a-kind error coin struck on a silver planchet that wasn't supposed to be used in Denver. That mix-up, combined with pristine condition, made it a record breaker. So how can you tell if your Kennedy half-dollar is valuable? Here's a quick checklist. On Bicentennial coins, you'll find a small D for Denver or S for San Francisco just below Kennedy's neck. Some are copper-nickel clad, but special collector's issues are 40% silver. If the edge shows a solid silver color instead of copper, that's a good sign. Look for doubling in the letters, off-center strikes, or unusual colors a coin in uncirculated. Mint state condition is worth much more than one that's been in circulation. Even if your coin isn't the $1.7 million dollar piece, some bicentennial half-dollars can still be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on grade and rarity. Alright, so let's say you've checked your coins and you think you've got something special. Where do you sell it? Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bauer specialize in high-value coins. Certified grading services like PCGS or NGC can grade and authenticate your coin, which increases trust and value. Local coin dealers can give you quick cash, but make sure to shop around. And of course, online platforms like eBay can work, but you'll want your coin certified first. Never rush to sell without getting your coin properly appraised. You don't want to give away a fortune for a few bucks. So there you have it, the story of the 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar that made headlines for being worth $1.7 million. While most half-dollars won't make you a millionaire, the truth is, rare coins are out there, and with a careful eye, you just might have one. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about valuable coins and hidden treasures. Who knows? The next $1 million coin could be in your pocket change right now. Imagine digging through your old change jar, pulling out a dusty half-dollar coin, and realizing it could be worth over $1.4 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, today we're diving into the incredible story of the 1973 no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar, one of the rarest coins collectors dream of finding. The Kennedy half-dollar series started in 1964, right after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It became one of the most beloved coins in American history. Millions of them were struck, so most are only worth 50 cents today. But here's the twist. In 1973, a mysterious no-mint mark variety slipped through, and it has sold for as much as $1.4 million. Normally, every coin struck in 1973 should have a mint mark, a tiny letter like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, telling us where it was made. Philadelphia coins from that year had no mint mark at all. But the Kennedy half-dollar wasn't supposed to be struck in Philadelphia for circulation in 1973. That's why, when a coin appears with no mint mark, it's considered an accidental rarity. Think of it like a misprint on a baseball card or a rare first edition book. Collectors love errors, especially when they're tied to something as iconic as JFK. So why would someone pay 7 figures for a half-dollar coin? 3 big reasons. Only a handful are known to exist. Some experts believe fewer than 10 examples are out there. The Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most collected U.S. coins of all time. The $1.4 million coin wasn't just rare. It was graded in near-perfect condition by professional grading services. A well-worn version might bring tens of thousands, but in pristine, mint-state condition, that's when the big auction houses roll out the red carpet. Here's the part you've been waiting for. How do you know if you might have one of these coins? Look for the year 1973 on the front. Flip the coin and check just above the date or near Kennedy's bust where the mint mark usually sits. If there's no mint mark at all and the coin is authentic, you may have struck gold, or should I say silver. But a word of caution. Not every missing mark is a million-dollar treasure. Some are just worn-down coins. That's why professional grading and authentication are crucial. If you believe you have a rare Kennedy half-dollar, here's what you should do. Don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value. Get it graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC, the two most trusted grading companies. Consider the right venue. High-value coins often go to major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where competitive bidding drives prices sky-high. Even if yours doesn't hit the million-dollar jackpot, rare Kennedy halves can still bring in thousands. Other valuable Kennedy half-dollars, 8 to 9 o'clock. And here's some good news. The 1973 no mint mark isn't the only valuable Kennedy half out there. Keep an eye out for. Some of these are worth hundreds or even thousands, depending on condition. Closing and call TO action, 9 to 10 o'clock. So the next time you come across a half-dollar, don't just toss it back in the change jar. That little piece of history might just be your ticket to a million-dollar payday. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting secrets, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. Who knows? Maybe the next millionaire collector could be watching this right now. Did you know one of the most ordinary-looking coins from your pocket change could actually be worth over $1.4 million? That's right, today we're talking about the legendary 1977 no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar. If you've got old coins lying around in jars, drawers, or even inherited collections, you'll want to stick around until the very end of this video, because what looks like just a 50-cent piece could actually be life-changing. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, shortly after President John F. Kennedy's assassination. It became an instant tribute, and Americans loved saving them instead of spending them. By 1977, millions of these coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's where it gets interesting. A rare error occurred, leaving us with a 1977 Kennedy half-dollar with no mint mark at all. Normally, the Philadelphia mint coins from that year should still carry a mint mark P. But due to a striking error, some coins were released without any mint mark, making them incredibly rare. Now, you might be asking, why would a missing mint mark make a coin worth more than $1 million? Only a handful of these 1977 no mint mark halves are known to exist. If it's in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, the value skyrockets. Kennedy halves are one of the most collected coins in America, and error coins are like the crown jewels of a collection. In fact, one pristine example sold for $1.4 million at auction, turning a 50-cent piece into a fortune. So, how can you tell if you have one of these? First, look at the front of the coin, right below Kennedy's neck, where you'd normally see a small letter P, D, or S. If the coin is from 1977 and there's no letter at all, you may be holding something extraordinary. Some coins just have weak mint marks that are hard to see. That's why using a magnifying glass or taking your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC is absolutely crucial. They can confirm if it's the real deal. If you think you've found one, don't rush to spend it or sell it cheap. Instead, get it authenticated and graded. A certified coin always sells for more. Research auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, they specialize in rare coins. Even eBay can be an option, but for something this rare, major auction houses usually bring in the highest bidders. And remember, even if you don't have the million-dollar coin, a regular 1977 Kennedy half in high grade can still be worth anywhere from a few dollars up to several hundred. So check your change, your old coin jars, or even that shoebox of coins your grandparents left behind. You never know, one coin could change your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because I've got more videos coming on rare coins that could be sitting in your pocket right now. Did you know that a coin sitting in your drawer could be worth over $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. In 1972, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Kennedy half dollars at the Denver Mint. But one very special coin, the 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar, shocked the coin collecting world when it sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. In today's video, we're diving deep into what makes this coin so valuable, how to know if you have one, and what you should do if you discover rare coins hiding in your collection. So, if you've got old coins lying around, you'll want to watch this until the end. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The nation wanted a lasting tribute, and the half dollar became his memorial on U.S. currency. By 1972, the Mint was producing hundreds of millions of these coins, especially at the Denver Mint, which is marked with the D Mint mark. Most of these coins are common and worth about face value. But here's the twist. Not all coins are created equal. Some have unique errors, varieties, or striking conditions that can make them incredibly rare, and that's what happened with the 1972 D. So, what's so special about this coin that someone paid $1.60 million? This particular 1972 D Kennedy half dollar was graded in nearly perfect condition. That means it looks almost exactly as it did the day it was minted, with a flawless shine and sharp details. On top of that, experts believe it was struck using a rare die variety. When you combine rarity, condition, and collector demand, you end up with a once-in-a-lifetime coin. Out of millions of coins made, only one or two might survive in such pristine condition. That's why serious collectors are willing to pay record-breaking prices. Now, here's the question on everyone's mind. Could you have one of these coins? Look for 1972 with a small D below Kennedy's neck on the front. The more flawless it looks, the more valuable it could be. Coins without scratches, wear, or dullness are worth checking. Some coins from this year show unusual features, like doubled lettering or off-center strikes. These varieties can add huge value. If you think you've got something special, don't clean it. Take it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give it an official grade, which is what collectors trust. And even if you don't have the million-dollar coin, don't lose hope. There are plenty of other Kennedy half dollars worth good money. For example, the 1964 Kennedy half dollar in silver can bring in more than its melt value. The 1970 D half dollar is a key date collectors hunt for. Error coins from the 1960s and 1970s often sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands, depending on condition. So, checking your coins carefully is always worth your time. Quick and easy, but you might not always get the top price. Great place to meet buyers and get multiple offers. This is where the big sales happen. That $1.6 million coin is sold at auction to the highest bidder. Websites like eBay can work for common coins, but rare ones should always go through professionals to avoid scams. My advice? If you truly think you have a rare coin, get it graded first, then consider auctioning it to reach serious collectors. So, the next time you're sorting through your old change, remember, a simple 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar once sold for $1.6 million. Coins like this prove that treasures really can be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about other valuable coins that could be sitting in your collection, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss our next video. Who knows, the next coin we talk about might just be sitting in your pocket right now.
We're talking about the 1980 D. Kennedy half dollar, a coin that has sparked interest among collectors, with some rare versions fetching astronomical prices. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your half dollars and how to tell if you could be sitting on a small fortune. First, a little history. The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964, shortly after President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination. It replaced the Franklin half dollar, and ever since then, it has been one of America's most beloved coins. By 1980, half dollars were no longer made of silver for circulation. Instead, they were struck in a copper-nickel composition. The IG 1980D means it was minted in Denver, Colorado. Millions of these were made, so most are only worth their face value, 50 cents. But here's the secret. Certain rare errors, high-grade examples, and unique varieties can transform that 50 cent piece into thousands, or in some cases even over $1 million. Let's break down what makes a 1980 D. Kennedy half-dollar valuable. There are three main factors. A regular circulated coin is worth about 50 cents to a few dollars. But in pristine, uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state, values can jump to $50 to $500. At the very top, in MS-67 or higher, some coins have sold for thousands. Collectors love mistakes. Look for off-center strikes, double dies, missing letters, or clipped planchets. A dramatic error can push the value into the thousands of dollars. Now here's where things get interesting. A few reported 1980 D. Kennedy half-dollars with extremely rare minting anomalies combined with a top-grade certification have been valued in the range of $1.5 million. These are so rare that only a handful exist, or may even be unique. That's why collectors will pay almost anything to own one. A typical 1980 D half-dollar in MS-65 might sell for $100, $150. A stunning MS-67 example has fetched over $2,000 at auction. But the record-setting coins, those rumored million-dollar sales, combine perfect condition, rarity, and a dramatic mint error. So while it's extremely unlikely the one in your drawer is worth $1.5 million, it could still surprise you with a nice price tag. Get good lighting and a magnifying glass. Look closely at the details. The lettering, Kennedy's profile, the mint mark D. Check for doubling, cracks, or anything unusual. If your coin looks flawless or has a strange error, don't clean it. Cleaning can ruin the value. Have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These companies certify the authenticity and condition, and their stamp of approval can multiply your coin's value. And if you think you've got something truly special, auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers are where big money is made. So, can a 1980 D. Kennedy half-dollar really be worth $1.5 million? Yes, but only in the rarest, most extraordinary cases. For most of us, these coins might be worth anywhere from pocket change to a few $100s. But here's the fun part. You'll never know unless you check. That old half-dollar sitting in a jar could be a hidden gem. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with other collectors or anyone who might have old coins lying around. And tell me in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found?
Have you ever checked your old change drawer? Or maybe your grandfather's coin collection, and wondered if one of those coins could be worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in the collecting world, the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar, and why some claim it could be worth as much as $1.5 million. If you're between 30 and 70 years old and thinking about selling old coins, you'll definitely want to watch this video until the very end. Because not only will we cover the history, but I'll also show you what makes certain coins incredibly valuable, and how you can find out if you might have one hiding at home. The Kennedy half-dollar was first struck in 1964, just months after President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Americans loved the design so much that it quickly became a symbol of national pride. But by 1971, something big changed. The U.S. Mint stopped using 90% silver in circulating half-dollars. Instead, they switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar, minted in Denver, was the first of its kind made entirely without silver for circulation. And here's where things get interesting. Why some 1971 D coins are worth a fortune? 3 minutes. Most 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollars are only worth their face value, 50 cents. You could have a whole roll of them and they'd still just be pocket change. But some extremely rare mint errors and varieties have sold for shocking amounts. One particular specimen, in pristine condition with unique characteristics, has been reported with a value estimate as high as $1.5 million. Mint errors. A few 1971 D half-dollars were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, instead of copper-nickel. These rare mistakes can fetch tens of thousands or even more at auction. High-grade condition. Collectors pay massive premiums for coins graded by PCGS or NGC at the highest levels, like MS-67, MS-68, or higher. Double dies, wrong planchets, and off-center strikes add to rarity. That's why you might see headlines claiming a single 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar is worth 7 figures. While not every one of them is, the right combination of rarity, condition, and demand can make a coin skyrocket in value. How to tell if your 1971 D half-dollar is valuable? 2 minutes. Make sure it has the D4 Denver, just under Kennedy's neck. Is the coin struck off-center, missing details, or unusually shiny? A normal clad coin weighs 11.34 grams. If it weighs around 12.5 grams, it could be one of those rare silver planchet errors. If your coin looks brand new, no scratches, full details, it could be worth grading. Never clean your coin. Cleaning can destroy its value instantly. Okay, let's say you think you've found something valuable. Where should you sell it? Professional shops can give you an appraisal. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers often sell rare half-dollars. Before selling, consider sending your coin to PCGS or NGC for grading. A certified grade is what turns a 50-cent coin into a 5 or 6-figure coin. And if you're new to all this, don't rush into selling. Do some research, talk to multiple dealers, and always get a second opinion. So, is every 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar worth $1.5 million? No. Most are worth 50 cents to a few dollars. But the rarest ones, especially mint errors or ultra-high grades, can bring life-changing money. You might just have one in your collection without even realizing it. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and share this video with someone who might have an old coin jar sitting around. Because that little piece of change could turn into a small fortune.
We're diving into one of the most exciting discoveries in U.S. coin collecting, the 1974 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar. Some examples of this coin have been reported at values reaching up to $1.6 million. Stay with me as we explore the history, how to identify one, and what you should do if you think you have one of these rare coins in your collection. B-roll of President Kennedy, 1960s-70s footage, minting machines. The Kennedy half-dollar was first issued in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin quickly became a symbol of honor and remembrance, and Americans hoarded them almost immediately. By 1974, the coin was still being produced in large numbers, but something unusual happened. At the Philadelphia Mint, which normally does not use a mint mark, a small number of Kennedy half-dollars were struck without the proper minting characteristics, creating an ultra-rare variety. These no-mint mark 1974 half-dollars have since become one of the holy grails of coin collecting. Close-up shots of coins, grading slabs, auction rooms. Most 1974 Kennedy half-dollars are only worth about 50 cents to a few dollars. But here's the key. The error versions with no mint mark, and especially those in pristine, uncirculated condition, can be worth a fortune. In fact, a verified 1974 no mint mark Kennedy half-dollar in high grade has been valued at $1.6 million. The reason is simple: extreme rarity. Collectors with deep pockets are willing to pay astronomical prices to own such a unique piece of history. But remember, condition is everything. A circulated coin might only be worth a few hundred or a few $1,000s, but a perfect example, graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, can soar into the millions. On-screen demonstration of flipping a coin, looking for mint. Marks, look closely at the date. You need a 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, check under Kennedy's neck, near the edge. Normally, you'd see a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or nothing at all if it was struck in Philadelphia. The key here is to confirm that the missing mint mark is not just worn away, but that the coin was truly struck without one. Examine the quality. If your coin looks sharp, with little wear, it's worth getting it authenticated. Seek professional grading. Send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC. This step is critical because buyers will only pay top dollar for a coin that's been officially certified. clips of coin shops, auction houses, collectors examining coins. If you think you found one of these rare coins, don't rush to sell it at a local pawn shop. Contact a reputable coin dealer or auction house. Major auction firms like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers specialize in rare U.S. coins and can connect you with serious collectors. The right venue could mean the difference between selling for a few $1,000s or $1 million. So, could you be holding $1 million Kennedy half-dollar in your hands right now? Only one way to find out. Go through your coin jars, your dresser drawers, even those old boxes from your parents or grandparents. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more coin collecting secrets, and share it with anyone who might have hidden treasures in their pocket change. History isn't just in museums. Sometimes it's sitting right in your pocket. Fade out with coin close-ups and subscribe button animation.
Imagine finding a coin in your old change jar, tucked away for decades, and learning it could be worth over $1.6 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's the story of a rare variety of the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar. In today's video, we're diving into the hidden details behind this coin, how to spot it, what makes it valuable, and how you can check your collection or even your pocket change for one of these hidden treasures. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, right after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It was America's way of honoring his legacy. Originally, these coins were struck in 90% silver for the 1964 issue, then reduced to 40% silver from 1965 to 1970. After 1971, half-dollars were minted in copper-nickel clad for circulation, with some silver collector versions. By the 1980s, half-dollars were barely used in daily commerce. Most people didn't see them in circulation anymore, so collectors began paying closer attention to the small details. The year 1983 stands out. These coins were minted in Philadelphia, marked with the P mint mark. Now, 1983 wasn't a silver year, these were copper-nickel clad. Millions were struck, so at first glance, it's just another common coin. But here's the kicker. A few 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollars have errors or varieties so rare, they can be worth life-changing amounts of money. The most famous variety is the No FG coin. On the reverse, the designer Frank Gasparo's initials, FG, normally appear between the eagle's tail feathers and the right leg. On the rarest examples, those initials are completely missing due to dye polishing or striking issues. Collectors go crazy for these No FG varieties. Most are worth hundreds, sometimes thousands, depending on condition. But there are also rumors of experimental strikes and extreme mint errors from that year, coins with unusual planchets, double strikes, or unique dye characteristics. These ultra-rare examples are what auction houses sometimes list for astronomical amounts, up to that headline-grabbing $1.6 million price tag. Flip your 1983 Kennedy half-dollar over. Look under the eagle's tail near the leg. Do you see the initials FG? If they're missing or faint, you might have something special. Condition matters. Coins graded mint state MS by professional services can multiply in value. A No FG coin in MS65 could fetch thousands, while a circulated one may be worth far less. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual metal surfaces. Rare errors can dramatically increase value. Don't try to sell on eBay without verification. Send rare finds to PCGS or NGC. A professional grade makes all the difference between a $50 coin and a six-figure coin. A typical 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar is worth maybe 50 cents to a couple of dollars in circulated condition. Nothing exciting. But in high-grade condition with the No FG variety, prices have ranged from a few $100s up to several thousand at major auctions. And then there are the whispers. One spectacular specimen tied to a unique minting error supposedly reached $1.6 million in valuation in private sales. While these cases are rare, they fuel the hunt for hidden gems. If you're sitting on a collection, here are a few tips before you cash in. Don't clean your coins. Cleaning lowers value. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to spot details. Research completed sales on Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or PCGS auction archives. If you think you've found something rare, send it to a professional grading service. And finally, be patient. The right buyer can make a world of difference. So there you have it, the story of the 1983 P. Kennedy half dollar, a coin that most people overlook, but in rare cases, can be worth more than a house. Check your change, dig through those old coin jars, and who knows, you might be sitting on a hidden fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins you could own, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who might have a coin collection. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting. Have you ever wondered if that old Kennedy half dollar sitting in your drawer could actually be worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving into one of the most talked about coins, the 1989 P. Mint Mark Kennedy half dollar. Believe it or not, some collectors claim that one of these coins has been valued at an incredible $1.7 million. But is that real? Is your coin worth that much? And how can you find out what your half dollar is really worth? Stick around. I'll break it all down for you step by step. The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after President Kennedy's assassination. It quickly became one of America's most beloved coins. The 1989 Kennedy half dollar, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, that's the P Mint mark, isn't typically considered rare. In fact, over 24 million of them were produced that year. Most are worth just their face value, 50 cents, so why all the buzz about a coin supposedly worth $1.7 million? Here's where things get interesting. From time to time, you'll see websites, social media posts, or even YouTube videos claiming that a 1989 P. Kennedy half dollar sold for $1.70 million. Now, let's set the record straight. As of today, there is no verified public auction record of a 1989 P half dollar reaching that price. What usually happens is that rare coin prices get exaggerated online, often mixing up details with other rare mint errors or prototype coins. That while a regular 1989 P Kennedy half is not worth millions, there are certain versions, errors, and high-grade coins that could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's talk about what really makes a 1989 P Kennedy half dollar valuable. There are three main factors. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC in MS 67 or higher can be worth significantly more than face value. Some have sold for over $2,000 at auction. Collectors pay a premium for coins with dramatic minting mistakes. Off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchet errors. These can range anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s. While 1989 doesn't have a major recognized variety like the 1974 DDO, double die obverse, unique one-of-a-kind errors could theoretically bring huge money, though not $1.7 million. Check the mint mark under Kennedy's portrait. If it's a P, it's from Philadelphia. Examine the condition. Is it worn down, or does it look almost brand new? Look closely for mint errors, doubling on the letters, unusual strikes, or anything that looks off. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade it. That's what determines the true value. So, is the 1989 P. Kennedy half dollar worth $1.7 million? Probably not. But could your coin be worth hundreds or even thousands? Absolutely, if it's in top condition or has a rare error. The key is to check carefully, get it graded, and don't fall for the hype without real proof. If you've got Kennedy halves, dig them out and take a second look. You never know what treasures you might have hiding in plain sight. Did you know that a single 1998 P Mint Mark Kennedy half dollar could be worth an astonishing $1.7 million today? Yes, you heard that right. One small coin could hold more value than most people ever imagine. If you've been holding on to old coins in your collection, your next discovery might be hiding in plain sight. Today, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of rare Kennedy half dollars, why some are worth so much, and how you could cash in if you have one. The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Over the decades, these coins have been minted in huge numbers, but not every coin is common. Collectors always look for rarity, mistakes, and unique features. That's where a coin like the 1998 P Mint Mark Kennedy half dollar comes into the spotlight. While most 1998 half dollars are fairly common, this specific coin has something incredibly rare, a minting error that makes it extremely valuable. So what exactly makes the 1998 P. Kennedy half-dollar so special? It's the P Mint mark error. Normally, the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a P Mint mark on half-dollars in 1998. Coins from Philadelphia are usually mint mark free. But a very small number, possibly just a handful, were struck with the P mark by mistake. And as any coin collector will tell you, errors like these can skyrocket a coin's value. That's why this coin has been appraised at a staggering $1.7 million. That's right, a tiny piece of metal you might have in a drawer could be worth more than a luxury car or even a small house in some areas. Not every 1998 Kennedy half-dollar is worth millions. So how do you know if yours might be the rare treasure? Here's what to look for. Check the mint mark. Normally, Philadelphia coins don't have a P. If your coin has one, it's worth inspecting further. Look for minting errors. Tiny mistakes in design, double dies, or unusual shapes can all add value. Condition matters. Coins in pristine condition, called mint state or MS grade, are worth exponentially more than worn coins. If you find a coin that matches these criteria, it's worth having it professionally appraised. So you've identified a rare coin. What now? Selling a coin like this requires care. Here are the steps. A professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can certify your coin's authenticity. Rare coins can vary widely in price depending on demand and condition. Auction houses, coin dealers, and private collectors are all options. But be careful. Selling to the wrong buyer could mean leaving hundreds of thousands, or even millions, on the table. Remember, patience is key. The right buyer will pay top dollar for a coin like this. You open a drawer and find a coin worth $1.7 million. That's not just a rare collectible. It's potentially life-changing money. Many people underestimate what they already own. Old coins, even from as recent as 1998, can hold incredible value if you know what to look for. Your next treasure could be right under your nose. So, if you have old Kennedy half-dollars lying around, especially from 1998, it's time to check them closely. Look for that rare P Mint mark, and don't be afraid to get your coins appraised professionally. Who knows? You might just have a $1.7 million coin in your collection. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get more tips on uncovering hidden treasures in your own home. You never know what's worth a fortune. Did you know that a single coin sitting in someone's drawer right now could be worth over $1.5 million? Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1990 P Mint mark Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that has collectors and investors alike scrambling. If you're holding old coins and wondering if they're more than just sentimental value, you won't want to miss this. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is so valuable and how to find out if your coin collection has hidden treasures. The Kennedy half-dollar has a rich history dating back to 1964, shortly after President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination. For decades, these coins were minted in massive quantities. But here's the twist. The 1990 P Mint mark version is incredibly rare. Why rare? Well, most Kennedy half-dollars from the late 1980s and 1990s were made for circulation. But the 1990 P coin, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, had an extremely limited mintage for collectors and special sets. Only a handful of pristine, uncirculated coins survived the years in perfect condition. That tiny P Mint mark is the difference between a regular coin and a collector's holy grail. $1.5 million for a coin. That's unbelievable. But here's the breakdown. Very few survived in perfect, uncirculated condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Only perfectly graded coins, usually MS70 or PF70, reach this astronomical value. High net worth collectors and museums are willing to pay top dollar for this piece of history. To put it in perspective, a coin that might have cost $10 at a bank in 1990 could now sell for more than 1,000,000 times its original face value if it's the right 1990 P Mint mark Kennedy half-dollar. Now, let's talk about how to identify if you actually have one of these rare coins. Located on the obverse of the coin near Kennedy's neck. 1990. Not 1989. Not 1991. 1990. P is the golden ticket. Scratches, discoloration, or circulation where can drastically lower its value. Only pristine, uncirculated coins are worth millions. The best way to verify value is through certified grading companies like PCGS or NGC. This adds credibility and boosts auction price. If you discover you have one of these coins, selling it requires careful strategy. Coins this rare fetch top dollar in specialized auctions. Buyers pay premium for verified authenticity. Sotheby's, heritage auctions, and other high-end coin auction platforms attract serious collectors. The right buyer will pay millions, but it might take time to find them. So, before you dust off that old coin collection, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history worth more than you ever imagine. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tips on discovering hidden treasures in your own home. Who knows? Your next $1 million find could be sitting in a drawer right now.